everyone. I hope you all are safe and are at home and fighting the coronavirus efficiently. So, as Santosh said, this is our first webinar towards the user experience side, and we are happy to announce that we'll be coming up with such webinars going forward. Every time we would come up with a new topic, and we keep scheduling such webinars going forward. As you all know, it has been always been our endeavor to bring continuous improvement to Audit 360. We are committed to bring more new features, new security enhancements, and better performance to everyone. As part of all this releases, we are also have updated the recent releases or whatever the changes we do on the system are being communicated. As along with our improvement and bugs, there are many key features which we have released recently. So we would be covering the recent releases, the key releases in this webinar. As we all do to achieve all this, what we will all do everything possible that would result for this transformation and would delight our valued clients. So our endeavor is to bring such enhanced features and the secured features to all our clients. So as part of this latest release webinar, we have taken up few we have taken a few recent releases which has been a part of our recent release where we only the key features we have been taken. So one among them is so the latest releases, what we have done recently is the hosting migration. So we were earlier on AWS, and then we moved into Azure to bring in more performance to all our customers. We also took up the tech stack upgrade, so which enhances our current experiences and the performance of Audit 360. Apart, along with this migration and the tech stack support, we also went through the secure code certification. We are happy to announce that we are now a secure code certification, and we have already got a certificate for this. We do not have any major or a critical observations as such in this certification thing which we have gone through it. So these are things on the performance and the security side. Apart from that, we also have many such features which like a mobile device mapping. Then we have a dashboard upgrade, the advanced reports, previous audit observation, and dark mode on the mobile side. So I would be talking about the couple of items on this list. First among them would be device ID mapping. So device ID mapping is a control feature which enhances for data security, and is a feature that will help the mobile device ID of the audit user and use that for authentication of the user every time they try to log in into Audit 360. This feature will work as one of the key authentication factor along with the user credential to ensure that right person is accessing the app with the right device using it. So how can someone can use this how does this device ID map? So device ID map will be once this feature is being deployed or for the first time an audit user uses our mobile app, this device ID would be taken from and will be updated on our login. The first device, whichever he uses, that login ID would be picked up and we would be updating in our application. So every time a user tries to log in through his credential on the mobile app, we would do authentication to check if the user is been using the same device and or to log in, and if the device ID matches, we allow the user to go ahead with the login and start using the Audit 360. Otherwise, we would show up a message stating that the ID, whatever the device we are using is not authenticated. So we would request them to reach out to us. So in certain cases, what would happen is the device which a user would be using may not be used for a very long time. There would be a scenarios where he would need to change his device, or there would be a scenario where he would want to update, he would want to upgrade to a new mobile, there is a device change which happens. In those cases, what he can do is he can get in touch with the Sumeru support team and initiate support request stating that the device ID, there's a change in the device ID. The request would be taken from the support team. And once the support request has been raised, this ID would be updated, the latest ID would be updated from the backend, and which will allow the user to get authenticated on his new device and allow him to start using the mobile device as and when he start using the our Audit 360 device. So this feature is actually released as a more secured and controlled feature to all the users.
I'd like to come in here, just one point here. If for some reason, the whole idea of this feature is to bring in a better control for the organization. If for some reason the user ID and password, that is the credentials of the user, is compromised and someone else is trying to access the auditor's role from a different that will be blocked now. It won't be allowed. That gives the much required control. Similar feature is coming up in web as well. So if for some reason the credentials get compromised, the usage of the credentials to get into Audit 360 will be stopped. That's what is happening here. In case there is a genuine device change at the end of the user, then the user can reach the internal admin and subsequently to the Sumeru or the Audit 360 team to get the device ID changed. For the first time, no mapping is required. No need to worry about that. The current device from wherever you are using it, that ID will be picked up and mapped against every user automatically. There's no need to send any request or anything for that purpose. Yeah, carry on.
Yeah, thanks, Santosh, for adding this. So our next key update on Audit 360 is the previous audit observation. So currently in all your mobile, when you're executing the audit.
Ramya, we have one question.
Yes,
this question is about, can we map more than one device for a single user? The answer to that, yeah, on the mobile, can we map more than one device is the question.
Yeah, on the mobile, it is only one ID which we can get mapped. So
one mobile, yeah. One user will be mapped to two devices, one mobile device and one web device. That's the answer. Yeah.
So is there any other question? Yeah. So I'm
no, that's all. I'll keep watching.
Yeah. So I'm moving to the next key update, which is previous audit observation. So currently, whenever an auditor is executing the audits, for a set auditee, for whichever auditee has been doing the audit, the previous audit observation would be captured on his screen. So to have access to the previous audit execution, so he would be able to, on every checkpoint level, he will be able to see the previously what was the compliance being taken. This information can be derived even if the auditor is same or a different auditor. This information is actually provided as an information to an auditor, which helps him to do a more effective audit. He could unsee whether if this particular checkpoint was an issue earlier, or was it been non-issue? Was there any, what is the current status of, if there's one issue, what is the current status of the issue? All that details will be given to them. To access this previous audit observation against every checkpoint, there will be a I button if it is a normal mode of execution. Once the I button is clicked by an user, you would get a two option, which is a notes to auditor and a previous to P as an option, which is previous audit observation. So there would also be a color indication wherever there's a previous audit observation or a P being written. This indicates that if there are any issue previously, if there are a non-compliance identified, then the P would, if it is in red color, it indicates that there was a non-compliance. If it is, the P is appearing in green, it means that there were no non-compliance found. All the points which were checked were, the respective point which was checked was actually complied. And if it was an NA or so, then if it is an input level of checkpoint, then the color would all stay with gray color. So this color would give an indication for an auditor to see if he can go inside and check if it was an issue, what has been happening on the current status of the issue can be verified by an auditor so that he can take forward his audit and the discussion with the auditee more effectively. So on a normal mode of execution, the checkpoint or the previous audit observation would be seen at a checkpoint level on the second mobile screen shown. If you are doing the audit on a express mode of execution where the checkpoint view is not seen, the checkpoints are one below the other, then against every checkpoint intent, the below you could see a description and a previous audit observation. Here also the color codes would also be maintained. So once the previous audit observation is clicked, there would be a screen which appears and all the information like the compliance, disposition which was selected, and if there was an input capture, also along with the issue status, the current issue status will be shown to the auditor here. So this is on the audit observation. Santosh, if you can check if there are any questions on previous audit observation. Hello?
No, Ramya, on this, there is no question. I think I was on mute. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So can I move forward for the next one? I could see a couple of questions.
There is one question. There is one question on this, which I think can be helpful for all. The question is whether the previous audit observation reflect irrespective of the auditor. For example, yes, if I was the auditor last time and you are going to audit this time, will the previous audit observation still show up?
Yes, it would. It doesn't matter with which auditor it would be because we are passing on the information on what was happened on the previous audit. So there is no restriction on it would be for a specific auditor. We are only trying to provide an information which helps an auditor to take the discussion much forward, and if the issues are not closed, so that he can authenticate more deeply here.
Yeah, one moment. I'm just looking at the other questions as well.
You can all leave the questions if required on this thing. We will even give a time slot after our webinar. Once the demo is done, we will give you some time where such questions can be raised and we will answer all of them.
Yeah, move on, Ramya.
Yeah. I'm moving ahead. Next feature which we had recently released is a dark mode on mobile. So as everyone are working from home and being constantly working on the devices and we felt it is important we introduce the dark mode on the mobile app so that the night mode can help the user to on a health point of view or on a more experience point of view. This would be more helpful, which can reduce the brightness and other things, which can also bring in lighter feel of the application. So dark mode is enabled and every user on the mobile device on their profile screen can see a dark mode option. If they would want to choose the dark mode, they can just enable the dark mode and the application would be moved into a dark mode. So it's a choice for an user to choose whether he would want to go with the dark mode or not. So these are the major updates on the latest releases. So if there are no questions on the dark mode, device ID mapping and the previous audit observation, then I would request Santosh to take forward with the dashboard. However, we would like to give, at the end of the session, we would give some time for users to share their question and where we can address all those questions to them.
Yeah, Ramya, now that I'm speaking, you may please keep a watch on
Sure.
the questions that are coming. Yeah. Can you also make Ravi the presenter?
Yes.
So the dashboard is very important and a very interesting change that has happened. So previously, our attempt, as we started Audit 360, our attempt was to show data in the best possible way and allow the user to be able to change the way the view works. That was the outlook at that point in time, and I think the dashboard was appreciated by many of you. Having said that, as we went forward, taking cue from suggestions that we received from some of you, and also as part of the product enhancement, we thought it is important to get into analytics. There is data that is available, which is getting captured on a regular basis, and there is a lot of data that is available. So we thought it is important to be able to get into data analytics so that whatever be the data that's available, that is used to the best of its possibilities. So from a mere data visualization, we are now getting into data analytics. There is a change with the landing page also. Ravi, if you can log in. So any user having access to the dashboard, once he logs in, he will get the day's details in his landing screen. How many audits are scheduled, how many total issues have been created on that day, how many sub-audits are scheduled, and how many high-risk issues are there as part of the audits being conducted on that day. You can also see what is the schedule for that day and the status. If you can show the pie chart. So if there are 10 audits scheduled for the day, what is the status? How many of them are accepted? How many have started? How many have lapsed because they didn't start in time? How many are in progress? How many got lapsed while in progress? In review, all statuses are covered. So someone who has access to dashboard, who looks at data from a slightly high point of view, looks at numbers, needs to track the numbers that are happening, he will land into this screen than landing into a checkpoint creation screen. If you can come down, there are a couple of more set of informations available. What is the status of issues created during the day? Is there any dispute that got raised by the auditee? And then at an auditor level, how many audits are there and what is the status of audits? You can see the counts, how many are in review, how many are accepted. This is at an auditor level. This gives you a clear user level or auditor level audit status. There is a question on the on breakup from the dashboard. This is just a landing page. Don't look at this as a dashboard. This is only a landing page. I am going to show the dashboard now. Ravi. So slight change, just one moment, Ravi. A slight change from the previous approach. All dashboards will now come from the left menu only. Inside the dashboard page, there is no selection that is happening. And whatever we are showing now, all of them are not available for the standard subscription. So with the current capabilities, whatever features that were available in the previous dashboard, we are retaining all of that. But in addition, what we are doing is we are also coming up with some additional subscription plans for the high-end features of this dashboard. I'll cover that separately, but from a basic structure point of view, we've divided the dashboards into two. One is the conformance and the other one is compliance. Conformance is nothing but the status of scheduled audits. How many have been completed? How many are pending? What is the score? Which are the top performing auditees? Things like that. We'll get into conformance. I'll just first explain what all are the informations available. This is like how it used to be on a business to date basis, how many number of audits are scheduled, how many sub audits are scheduled, what is the submitted count, what is the finalized count. There is also an pie chart on status of all scheduled audits. Coming down, there is a auditor wise execution status. Then those who are using annexures, many of you always wanted an information on how many primary identifiers were auditor and not audited. Here, the terminology used in Audit 360 is found and not found. So that split is made available now. This used to be a data that was difficult to find earlier. That is now available as part of the standard dashboard itself. Then coming down, audit type level count of audits, then sub audit wise schedule, their scoring which is going as a trend line, total average score, denominator score, that is then there is achieved score and achieved percentage as consolidated number for all auditees. Then there is a rating wise audits, and then coming down, audit type level achieved score, sub audit type level achieved score. Coming down, auditee wise number of audits scheduled. So this will tell you which auditee is getting audited more often, and if some auditees are not getting audited. Then auditor wise number of audits scheduled. This again will tell you which auditor is doing the maximum number of audits, or if there is any need to reallocate because one of the auditors have too many auditors allocated to him. That's another important information. This is the conformance trend by average achieved score. This is by type of auditees. The trends in the previous dashboard were not available. This will now be available as part of the standard dashboards. The number of schedules geography wise. Then there is a table that we have added, different from the earlier dashboard. This is not the underlying data. The underlying data can be taken out from each of the charts separately. Now this is just a table. This table can be downloaded. This is auditee wise achieved score table. This can easily be downloaded. Now, and then geography wise audits and achieved score. So these many different types of informations are included in this dashboard. Now, if you want to look at, say, for example, the consolidated audit execution status, if you want to look at that chart in detail, you can just pop that into a full screen. So that makes the chart very clear. It cuts the clutter. You are able to concentrate on that one information itself. Now, if you want to look at a certain detail, you can click on any of the pies within the information. It will just pop out, giving you the required clarity. And if you want to get into the underlying data, you just, that click will also, if a certain option is enabled, I'll just show you. If we can click on the drill through option. If you click on top, allow drill through, enable drill through, and then click on a certain piece of information, it will give you the underlying data for that piece of information. So we have clicked on finalized and allowed drill through to happen, then that gives us the underlying data. Now, because this dashboard has got many such features, we are also further limiting some of these features by roles. Which role requires what level of access, we will discuss individually with all of you for your organization. Because this allows multi-level drill down and download of all the information that is there in Audit 360. Therefore, we need to carefully choose who needs to have what access. We will share with you access matrix with respect to the dashboard only. And for all your existing dashboard users, you can let us know what access needs to be given to which user. Now, we'll now go to the compliance, which is the issue dashboard. Previously, we used to call it issues. Now it is compliance. Here we will show you more features of the dashboard. The idea over there was to just take you through what all elements. Here also I'll do the same thing. What all elements are there in the dashboard, I'll first explain. And then I will get deep into some of the features and functionalities, the additional analytical features that are available. Now, there are total number of issues. Then there is zero tolerance, high risk and medium risk issues count that is available. Then issue status, as a pie chart, as was available earlier also. Coming down, we have main audit wise issues, then group wise issues, and then checkpoint wise issues. The chart types have changed. Coming down, then compliance status, the risk wise issue count and aging of issues, then top 5 issues, then auditee wise number of issues, then repeat and recurring issues. This is another piece of information that was being requested time and again by many of you. So we have now added repeat and recurring issues. There are you will find 3 types of issues in this chart, which is new, repeat and recurring. New is the normal issue which has come into being for the first time, not in a string. And then repeat is, it is continuously occurring for the same auditee for the last 2 audits which were done. Recurring is more than 2. If the flow is broken and then the issue comes again, it will come as a new issue. There's a count of repeat and recurring issues that is also made available. Coming down, there is a geography wise, we've started with the state, but this, I'll show you a feature where you can get into multiple other levels. Then trend, the issue count for the last 12-month period, a trend line. Then average time taken to close an issue as a trend for 12 months. And trend of open issues over a period of 12 months. These trends, none of these trends were available in the earlier dashboard. We've added the trends. Then average time taken at each status level. To move from one status to the other, what is the average time that an issue is taking, an average issue is taking at the organization level. Then average time taken to close at a risk level, high, medium, low, and zero tolerance. Then trend of open issues with the breakup of statuses. Then trend of issues by risk level over a period of 12 months. Then there is a issue data table that we have added. Here, if you see the next page, it means there is further information to be seen. You can keep clicking on the next page. It will show you more details. This is downloadable. If you click on top, the 3 dots on top of that table, it shows you an option to download. You can download this into an Excel or a CSV. Now, going back up, now let's get into the features of the analytical features of this dashboard, of how it is different. But before that, there is one feature that I need to show you of linked analytics, which was possible in the previous dashboard. It was a default feature. There was no other way to analyze data in the previous dashboard. Here, it is an optional field. For example, there are high-end analytics that is possible, which you have to do within, or you can do within a given chart itself. So you don't need to link the entire dashboard. So that link is what you call a selection that you do at the first place. So Ravi, if you can click on the link and show some linked analytics selection. So if you want to look at only the accepted rejected, reopened, you can either click on the chart itself or click on the details available below the chart. Yeah, not resolved, reopened. Yeah. You can click, so what, as you see, some of the lines are very narrow, it doesn't allow a click. So you can click below on the details available. It will pop out that part of the chart and then you can click there. So it makes getting into the data easier. Now let's come down. So this is, change the entire information that is available. Now if we want to bring it down to an audit type, we will bring it down to a certain audit type, say vehicle diagnosis. This shows the information only for this audit type. Like this, we can go and make selections. There are matching information available that will show up. Otherwise, the other charts will come as blank. So we can go and do linked analytics as in the previous dashboard. There is no change there. So I'm not going in detail into this. we can remove this. We can unlink and yeah, we can reset. Yeah, if we can come down to any other piece of information. Yeah, once after refreshing. Yeah, let's go to the risk type. I'll introduce a new feature. Ravi, please be on the risk type. Yeah, I'll introduce a new feature here. Say you are in this chart and the sheer amount of high risk issues is very high. Overall, among the number of issues you have, 50%, almost 51% of the issues are coming from high risk. So now you want to do a deep dive into the high risk issues. How do we do that? Just go, click on the top menu, yeah, the middle one, and allow drill across. And then click on the high risk. So this shows you all the different parameters that are available for you to analyze this high risk on. So for example, first we will go and see from which audit this high risk issues are coming. Audit type. So we will select the main audit. Okay, I think the donut is not supporting this. It's okay. Let's go up, Ravi. We'll show this in some other this one. Let's come down. Let's come down. Further. Okay, let's show it in the straight level. That I think we need to change the chart from donut to some other type. Yeah. So now Karnataka is showing very high number of issues. If we want to get into the details of what these 909 issues are, then as I said, we will first enable drill down. Drill across, I'm sorry, drill across. Yeah, click on Karnataka, it will give you the options. Now let's first find out from which audit type this is coming. So these are the audit types which are producing these issues. Again, there are two types of audits which are coming up with a major number of issues. We'll select one of those audits. Yeah, first one, yes. Now we will see which auditee. Within Karnataka, which branch? So now we see majority of the issues are coming from, say, this Jayanagar, a place called the Jayanagar, the first branch. We will further go in detail and see the risk level of the issues. We'll get a risk level split. Further, we want to go into the high risk issues. We can do further. And we can look at the closure status, issue status. So we are in a, say for example, we are in a review with an auditee or we are discussing a certain case. So all our issues, these are accepted only. So we want to know for how many days these are open. We can further drill down. Yeah. Click and show aging. That's there in the last one. Yeah. All are more than a month. We can still go down and keep looking into this information. So in a review mode, our mind keeps throwing up questions. We can go deeper and deeper and deeper and analyze the data as is required until we are satisfied. And at this level or at any level, we can release all of this, Ravi. One minute. All the selections we did, if you saw, was showing up below the chart itself. Whatever be the number of selections we did will show as the drill path. Now we can go back. I'll just show you some basic additional features. Now for any chart, if you want to download the chart, you can click and export it as a PNG, JPG, PDF, or any of the listed details. We're just clicking and showing you how the downloaded image will look. This is for use in presentation or for sharing with someone. You can use this for any such purposes. In addition, now this download as PNG was available in the previous dashboard also, but now we have added many other formats as per your business requirement. Now, another very important feature which was being requested by, if I can say all of you, is the download of the entire dashboard, which we have added now. There is an option called Export Hive. You just need to click on Export Hive. From wherever you are, you think the view has to be downloaded. Just do an Export Hive, and within a few seconds, you get a PDF file, which is the entire dashboard downloaded into one file. And that, if you have done some linked analytics, at that level of drill down, whatever you have done, whatever be the status of the dashboard at that moment, that will get downloaded into a neat PDF document. This you can share as required with any other user in the organization who may not be a part of Audit 360 and can view the dashboard by himself. There seems to be a page break issue. Ravi, you may need to fix that. Yeah. And then can you show the other features available at a chart level? So you can set up on the numbers, you can set up, these are some features. I'm showcasing the entire capability of the dashboard. How, under what subscription plan we will enable this can be discussed separately. So for a number, for example, the total number of issues, you can set up an alert for yourself. For this, we may have to do, Ravi, if we can do that on the number, it'll be easier. Yeah, you can set up a alert.
Alert feature will come in next phase.
We are releasing in the next phase.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll just explain the feature. So this number is now, say for example, 4,467, and you want an alert to be sent to you once it crosses 4,500. That can be possible. The system will automatically, the dashboard will automatically generate an alert and send it to you. Then you can leave your comment. Comment is available now or is part of next release?
Actually, comment is available. Currently in embed screen, it's not working. We are working on it. We'll update it in 1 or 2
Comments
days.
is for, say, for example, the head of audit to leave his observation and his take on the information. Now, there are many other users, say, for example, management, senior management users or the audit committee looking into this dashboard. So they may, Ravi, if you can come down to that trend, there is a spike in a certain month. So this question, today's scenario, they may need to reach out to you through an email or a message and ask you why there is a spike. But using the comment feature, you can already, you have also noticed this spike and you know why it has happened. The owner of the dashboard, who's the audit department, can leave a comment informing why there is a spike. So people don't need to ask that question. The answer is already available for them to see. And this could be, I'm just explaining this from the point of view of a spike. This could be for any other reason. You want people who are looking at the dashboard to consume it from a certain perspective. So at a chart level, that perspective can be provided using this comment feature. Yeah. What else do we want to show? Is it whatever is ready?
Download, we can show.
The download we showed, right?
Yeah, that's this.
You can download the underlying data into Excel. This was available in the previous dashboard as well. Now, where do you select the columns to be downloaded?
That is in drill down only.
Drill down or drill across?
I'll show you.
Now, at the organization level, the internal audit team can decide what set of data has to be allowed to be downloaded. The underlying data has got the entire length and breadth of all information that is available. But all of that, should it be allowed to be downloaded? If a user with access is trying to download, that is something that we can fix. It need not be allowed. It can be decided by the organization. So these are the additional controls that we are bringing in. If you want to disable certain features from certain fields being downloaded, if there is any customer specific information which can go into the realm of data compromise, you can conceal the data within the dashboard itself using controls by informing us. Then we will conceal the data, then that won't be allowed to be downloaded. That field won't be downloaded. This is at a high level, and then I'll just mention about a few more features. So linked analytics we spoke about, downloads we spoke about, moving a chart into a full screen we spoke about, drill down, drill across and drill through are three different types of deep diving into a given data within a chart. Then we spoke about the download. We spoke about the export of data into different formats at a chart level and at a entire dashboard level. Saving of filters. I think we can show that. So a certain user can select filter criteria for the entire dashboard. Any given user can select filters. This may be for given organizations, this is one of the features that is given to the senior management users. So, different, say for example, we've given access to the head of branch banking. He would want to see only his audit in the dashboard. He does not want to see everything. We can go, select the audit type and keep that in his filter and further add that as his default view. So every time he logs in, he keeps coming to that view, that filtered view, not the entire view. How to make that default view a certain given filter? How do you make it default, Ravi?
I'm showing Santosh. So once they have done the filter, whichever they wanted to see it, suppose I wanted to choose only one particular audit type, any audit type, that they can see it. Then they can apply the filter first. Once it is applied, they can see the data only for that particular selection. Then there is a save button here. They can click that. Then they can make the name of the filter like AMIL. And this, he can click that whenever they comes into this particular dashboard. This is the default filter can be applied.
Yeah.
So if I go back to any other dashboard and I'll come back. I'll come back to compliance. I will see that default
view.
Default view.
Yeah, this is another important feature. This
If they don't want to that saved filter, then they have to go to saved filter. They can remove that.
Yeah.
Then this will get removed. Then if they
We will
refresh,
there is a print feature that is available.
Yeah, print is also.
Then alerts we spoke about, and going down to the underlying data. Then we are adding a feature called calendar. That feature is already there. This generally is to be given to very senior users who want to, as I said, analyze the data at a very, very deep level. So calendar is about adding events, organizational specific events or generic events to the dashboard, which will explain a certain spike or a dip in number, the numbers of number of audits done. What to say, for example, a number of audits in the last 3 months was very, very limited. That is because, there was a lockdown. That lockdown as an event can be added to your organization calendar, and that calendar can be uploaded to the dashboard. Thereby, maybe a couple of years down the line, when you're looking at this information, the relevance of the data will be there. This is one large example. This is a very huge and major event which we all are going to remember. But there could be smaller, minor things that happened in the timeline of things that, we can add it into the calendar, which will help us when we are doing a analytics, when we are doing a drill down, that will drill down or drill across, or there is a feature for using the calendar. When we get into that, these events show up, and then it gives a understanding as to what happened at that point in time. Now, there are some more features that we will be releasing in a couple of weeks time. There is an investigation feature that we are adding. Then deep level analytics, that is moving average, etc. for the piece of information available at a chart level. Then related information, then changing the visualization, which is the chart is now currently appearing as a pie chart. You want to see it as a bar chart, that is possible. That is also something that will be released soon. Now we'll also add statistical information, which is getting into the statistical values like mean, mode, median, standard deviation, minimum value, min value, max value. These are other very statistical information which is used for as I said, high-end analytics that will be made available at a chart level. For the data given within a chart, you can get into this level of details. And then we are adding a feature like bringing in external data. External data, when I say data external to Audit 360. Adding external data into the dashboard and analyzing the outcome of audit in perspective with that additional information. Say, for example, most of us are from the financial services side of business. So you may want to look at the performance of a branch in terms of the loan origination, that is a business that is happening at the branch, the collections performance or the PAR, the portfolio at risk, and the audit information. All of this may need to be consumed together for a senior management person to arrive at a certain decision. This is possible after we have included the we are calling it curated data that can be brought in, that will be released in a couple of weeks' time. There is a refresh option that is available. Very simple, but the dashboard is set to now. We are previously the dashboard was getting updated once every 1 hour. Now we are improving that. We are now reducing the timeline. The dashboard will get updated every half an hour. So it is the information reaches you faster through the dashboard. For you to refresh the dashboard, there is a refresh button given. So if you have already on the dashboard, you're doing analytics, the dashboard may not show the latest information. So you can always refresh and fetch the latest information, which has come in as part of the half-hour update. Then filters we explained, saving filters we explained, and comments. Comments, there is some hitch that is happening with the comments. We will fix that and we will take you through that also. So for all of this, we will be providing you an updated user manual. We will also be updating Amaya with quick reference questions for all of these features. We'll be updating relevant questions in Amaya. We'll also be coming up with multiple video sessions, multiple videos for usage of the dashboard alone. Okay, there is now I'm just having a look at the questions. Can the filter be used to see issues raised in a branch? I'm understanding it is on a branch and the compliance progress for the respective issues raised. It is possible we can do a drill across on a branch. So, Ravi, can you quickly show this? It is very easy. Oddity wise, drill across oddity level.
They want oddity wise, no?
Go up, go up, go up. This chart, yeah. We are choosing a branch. Enable drill across.
1 minute. Drill across not given to this chat. I will enable it.
Yeah, we'll enable that. Once we have enabled, that is possible. Otherwise, for now, as I showed, we can start from the state. There is a chart that shows. Yeah, go there, Ravi. Pick any random state. Do drill across. Get into a branch.
So now here.
Yeah, look at the issues raised and their closure status. Issue status, directly issue status. Yeah, that's enough. Yeah. So I guess I answered that question. Now, can we select date range of the dashboard?
Yeah, that is possible.
Can you please show that?
In the filter, there is a load period filter. If you want to see only today's data, you can see that. Or month data, you can click that month. From today's to before month, you can choose it. Or from when to when you require, you can choose that. If you add a filter, that filter will get applicable. First, you can choose whichever filter you require. Then you can apply that.
That is only if you want to save that filter next time you come in, correct?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So based on that month, detail only you'll see.
Yeah. So dashboard period can easily be selected.
And you can save that also. If you want to see every time the 3 months data, what you can do is they can choose the period as a month. Then only 1 month data from today.
Yeah.
That
so
will show.
Always when the user logs in, he will get the last
month data
information. Yeah.
Santosh, there's one request. There's one request on the chat. So I think you've explained it, but there was, can you explain on chart statistics?
Can you please give me some more information on what you are looking for so that I can get into that?
You may type it on the chat window.
Or maybe if it is raised earlier and it has got addressed, then it is fine. So while that question comes up, while I'm not giving a demo, I'll just talk about the advanced report section. So advanced report is a paid feature that can be subscribed, and that is for organizations who are used to templated reports for their internal purposes. So there are certain Excel templates you would have created using complex formulas, then certain styling to meet your organization requirement. You've been used to seeing that information in that format over a period of time. We had limitations into creating such reports earlier, but now with this advanced report, you can get us to configure a report. It will be treated as a customization, but adding every report will be treated as a customization. The feature is available. Now, what happens here is, whatever be the template that you are using, the same template, exact same template with the kind of complexities that you have in those formulae, whatever it is, it will be taken up and we will give you a report matching that current format that you are using, even to the level of cell colors, font, styling, everything. So whatever reports you are consuming today, which your internal MIS team or the audit team may be generating, that can be put into Audit 360, and the system will give you, Ravi, if you can show the window, if not the exact, the download and how things function. So once you have created a report template, you just need to type the name of the template here, and currently it is available at a single audit level. So select your audit type, then select the cluster and auditee for whom the information is required. Give the schedule ID and the date, and then you can download the report. Every time, whenever you want, you can download the report. The report will be downloaded as an Excel file. So if there are any questions related to any of the features that we explained, you may please raise that now. Or you can let us know by writing into us. We will be more than happy to answer all your questions. I think we have overshot the schedule by 10 minutes. We appreciate you joining us for this session, and we thank you all for taking time out. We will share. I'm very sure that there would be one or the other attendee in your organization who was not able to join today. Once we have the recording available, we'll share that with all of you for your consumption later on. Once again, thank you everybody for giving us your time. Thanks a lot. Really appreciate you joining us. I do look forward to more such sessions. We will have this happening more frequently. We will be giving you trainings, and we will also be giving you insights into more such new additions into Audit 360 time and again. Thank you all. Please do stay safe. Take care of your health and that of your families and everyone else in your organizations. Thank you.